Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Derek.
And I'm Heidi.
And you are watching the episode of Not Another Podcast. Okay, so what we got going on today? Today, I actually wanted to share with y'all this article that we came across not too long ago. And it just sounded like some really disturbing and absurd stuff. Like,
very disturbing.
Let me just get straight into it. There was this thing going around. I seen this article, and it was talking about the after school Satan Club. So the article goes, hi parents, I've got some fantastic news. Fantastic is subjective. We will be having our very first after school Satan Club, March blank. I ain't gonna put the date out there. All children ages 5 through 12 are welcome. More details in the permissions are below. Okay, so it says your kiddos do not have to be students. Blase, blah. Let's get straight into it, right? So the article itself says, hey kids, let's have fun at After School Satan Club. Science and community service projects, puzzles and games, nature activities, arts and crafts, snacks, and tons of fun. And pretty much they're just behind it. Let me just, fast forward because I don't want to waste nobody time. Parents, your child will learn benevolence and empathy, critical thinking, problem solving, blah, 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 blah. After School Satan Club does not attempt to convert children to any religious ideology. Instead, the Satanic Temple supports children to think for themselves. All after school Satan clubs are based on activity. Hold on, wait a minute. All after school Satan clubs, so there's like more than one of these things, are based on activities centered around the 7 fundamental tenets and emphasize a scientific, rationalist, non-superstitious worldview. And then it goes on to say the Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religion that views Satan as a literary figure who represents a metaphorical construct of rejecting tyranny and championing the human mind and spirit. So the Satanic
I have one question.
Club. Okay.
The satanic?
Yeah.
Because I can't
the Satanic Temple
Satanic
Club.
Temple. Like,
yeah.
What are the term temple? Like, what do you think they're using it? Like, is it like the school and where they're hosting it, or is that just like the name that they have for the program? Because like I feel like when you bring temple in it, like I feel like this is something you're bringing into the school, but you also have it outside of the school.
Yeah, I have no clue. I mean, we know what a temple is, right? Mm-hmm. So,
I don't know. It's just interesting to see that. And then it encourages adults to come as well, because at the top it says like all children are required to come in with a permission slip signed by a parent or guardian. Yeah. Any adult attending who are not vetted volunteers must be accompanying a child with a permission slip. So as an adult, you're even able to go there. So they're encouraging children and adults to be together in this.
So what are your thoughts?
I don't know.
About the Satanic Temple Club. What are your thoughts about it?
I feel like I have a lot to say and not a lot to say about it. If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I'm going to let you go first on this one, honestly.
I'm
still processing it, honestly, because growing up, like, I would never see something like this.
Yeah.
You'd probably see maybe fake masks of the devil, but like me growing up, it wasn't talked about as much.
Yeah.
So now seeing like how just like,
I mean, so in the advertisement, they go on to talk about how the temple is just trying to establish kids to have free thinking and rejecting tyranny. And it supports children to think for themselves.
You're a child. who's supposed to be instructed.
Talk about it.
How are you going to think for yourself when you're 5 years old?
Talk about it.
Your mommy and daddy and your teachers are supposed to help you.
Talk about it.
So how are you going to think for yourself? That you're already instructing the child into, like, in my eyes, into corruption when you're allowing a 5-year-old to think for themselves.
Yeah.
It's like the other day I was talking to someone at work and they were saying how, I don't know in what state it was or where it was, that he was saying like at 7 years old, you were able to decide if you wanted to start taking, this is about to go into a rabbit trail. I'm so sorry. But, I'm gonna just say it anyway. But if you wanted to take like hormonal pills to like change your gender, I don't know if it's hormonal, whatever you take, and like, you know, to change whether you're a female into a male or a male into a female, like that state was like trying to pass a law, or I could be wrong, I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but basically like what they were trying to say was at 7 years old, you have enough knowledge to decide if you wanted to stay as a female or convert into a man, or if you wanted to be, you know, male and if you were male and wanted to convert into a female. Yeah. Like at 7 years old, I still need help with my homework. Like I still need somebody to pick me up from school.
Yeah, facts.
So for me to decide at that age if I want to choose to be a female still, or if I want to start taking medications to turn myself into a man, that's not okay. Yeah. It's just like that. Like what's the age group that it starts at?
I want to say it was like
5 through 12.
Is
so
it?
That's what I'm saying. 12? Yeah, look. All children ages 5 through 12 are welcome. So you're instructing children to think for themselves at the age of 5. How does that make sense? A 12-year-old, you know, I don't even want to say okay, because even at 12, you don't even have enough knowledge to think for yourself. Yeah. Mommy still cooks dinner for you. Like, you probably are taking showers by yourself, maybe getting dressed. Well, not maybe. You probably should be getting dressed by yourself at 12 years old. You know, you're showering on your own, but you still need a guardian. You still need a parent. You still need a teacher. You still need guidance.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
So just encouraging that in general, like,
I mean, like, yeah, you still need instruction. You still need a counselor, someone who can guide you in the right direction. I know 30-year-olds that still need counselors and need to be guided in the right direction, let alone an 8-year-old.
And it's not even any judgment on like a 30-year-old. I feel like we all are growing every day. Yeah. We're learning something new every day. Like, there's never going to be a time where you know it all. Like, you are not Jesus, you are not God. You're going to learn something new every single day. So whether it comes to I need therapy, or whether it comes to the point where I'm in college, or whether it comes to the point where I just need a mentor. Whatever, you're still learning. Or even when it comes to just you surrendering to God and seeking God for guidance, seeking God for instructions, reading his word. Even you notice it even when you're reading his word, how you could have sat here and read, you know, any verse 100 times, and on the 101st time, like, you get a fresh revelation on it. You get a different understanding on it. Like, you're learning something new every single day. So for you to sit here and encourage a child at 5 years old, 12 years old, to think for themselves at that age, where us as adults, like, I'm 26 years old and I still seek mentorship from my pastor. I still seek therapy. Like, I still seek, you know, even just learning by reading the word, even just learning by Bible study. Like, every day we're able to learn, every day we're able to grow. You're going to continue to grow. So as a child, for you to encourage that, like, I feel like you're, in my eyes, in my perspective, because I don't know what they're trying to say on that, but like, in my eyes, you're encouraging that independence early. And there's nothing wrong about being independent, because there's never nothing wrong with that. But too much independent is not good for you either. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy lifestyle to live. Coming from somebody who had to force themselves to be independent. And I didn't, like, it was something I didn't have a choice at a certain age. I had to be independent. I had to get up and do it on my own. But like, I feel like they're just kind of like pushing that on the child. Oh, you can make your own choices. You know, life, that's crazy, because I'm I'm reading this book, and it was like the chapter that I was on was talking about choices, how every day we have choices to make. And it's okay to start teaching your child how to make choices and the consequences that come after your choices.
Yeah.
But you're the one teaching your child. You're teaching them, if you touch the stove and you get burnt, you see the consequences of you touching the stove.
Yeah.
I'm not, of course I'm going to try to at all costs to avoid you touching the stove. But if you don't listen and you do end up touching your stove and you see that you burnt yourself, there's going to be a lesson behind that. But there's an adult teaching you that. It's not my, I'm saying mine like I have a 5-year-old. But for example, if I had a 5-year-old, like, no, here you go, touch the stove. Like, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to verbally teach you these things before you actually go out and do it. Because once you do it, then you're going to see the consequences for yourself. Yeah. But you can't say that mommy didn't instruct you on that.
I just think it's very ironic that they use Satan as the spokesperson for free thinking and for like going against tyranny. And the reason why I say that is because that in itself is tyranny and not free thinking. Because if it was free thinking, you wouldn't be introduced to a character that is Satan. You get what I'm saying?
You wouldn't introduce any character
exactly.
at all. Then. It would just be free thinking for you.
So that in itself is not free thinking, because you're causing people to believe in Satan. If that's the case, if you don't believe in religious, tyranny or whatever the case you want to call it, then don't introduce Satan. If that's the case, but that's exactly who Satan is. He's the father of confusion. You know what I'm saying? He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You know what I mean? He's the father of lies.
And that's the thing too. He wants to come for the children. That is the future generation.
Of course.
Like when all the elders that are instructing us, even us that, in our 20s and stuff, like all the elders, once they pass on, like we're up next. But with us, we're supposed to be instructing these children now. Yeah. So it's like he wants to damage their brains at such a young age. Rather than, he's still after like the young adults. He's after everybody, honestly. It doesn't matter. Elder, young adult, old person, child, it doesn't matter. But I feel like he's very focused on corrupting the mindset of a child, because you know how innocent the mindset of a child is. You know how quickly a child is to like believe something that sounds good, that looks good. Oh, it looks fun. We get to do this, and they're advertising food, and they're advertising activities and science and all of that stuff. Like that excites a child when they get, especially a child that could be going through things at home, and that is their escape. Yeah. Like growing up, after school programs was my escape from home. Yeah. So I wanted to sign up for everything. Yeah. I didn't care what that paper said. Piano lessons, okay. Like I was playing the violin. I don't even like the violin, but it was like an escape. Yeah. So a child that's not receiving that care or that love or just that like extra attention at home is going to start looking for it where they feel like they're going to get it, which is school. Because where else would a 5, 7, 8, 12-year-old go besides home and school, unless they're being instructed to follow God? But if you're signing up your child to a Satan club, are they going to church? Are you going to church? Do you believe in God?
Why isn't this accessible to the 13-year-olds, to the 14, to the 15, to the 18? Because they know better.
Exactly.
Like they know better.
I feel like they cut it off at 12 for a reason too. That's true.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't even
like
put
they
that
know
in perspective.
Better. I think that wouldn't be allowed because they know better. The Bible, like you just said, to piggyback off of what you just said, the Bible says to have childlike faith. So, you get a child, the child believe in anything. You give them a piece of candy, the child, next thing you know, they want to go home with you, and they want, it's Candyland and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's really crazy to see how, my thing is like, a lot of people go off and they want to do their own thing. And then ironically enough, like, it's like you do your own thing and then you suffer the consequences behind doing your own thing. That's the thing about it. That's another thing that intrigued me about that article, because it talks about free thinking, but little do you know, God is the God of choice. You know, he doesn't force you to do anything.
He gave you free will for a reason.
He gave you free will.
He doesn't want to force a relationship with you. So he's giving you the opportunity to choose.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, if he gives you the opportunity to choose, there's no, you can free think all you want. You know what I mean? But the truth is still going to be the truth no matter what, you know?
Whether you want to accept it or not, the truth is the truth. Whether you want to open the book or not, everything in that book is the truth. But he gave you that choice because why if us as humans, I'm not going to force a relationship with you. You want to be my friend, you want to be in a relationship with me, even when it comes to family, if you want to be a part of my family, because, you know, sometimes family don't even get along either.
Yeah.
It's all choices that we have. I can choose to build a friendship with you. I can choose to build a relationship with you. Yeah. I have the choice whether to reject or accept. Everything's, like I said earlier, everything's about a choice. Yeah. So why, if us as humans, we have the opportunity to choose whatever we want to accept and deny, you think God, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who literally made us in his own image, would want to force a relationship? That's not genuine.
Yeah.
That you would have no faith, you would have no love, because you are being forced to do these things. When you're forced to do something, you're not going to do it out of love, you're not going to do it out of faith, you're not going to do it, you're being forced to do it. So you're going to do it because you have to do it.
Right.
So he gave us that chance. Not that chance, he gave us that choice.
But when you're young, when you're that age, you don't have enough experience, you haven't lived long enough. Their school activities, they got activities and they got science and this, that, and third, and the next thing you know, homosexuality creeps in and perversion creeps in, and you know, pedophilia creeps in, you know what I mean, and child sex and child pornography and all of these different things, and then transgender, and then, you know, all of these things will creep in because
they'll start talking about that.
Yeah, exactly, because they'll just tell the person,
it's your choice if you want to be a boy or a little girl.
Yeah.
It's your choice if you want to put this dress on even though you're a 7-year-old boy.
Right.
Like,
it's your choice if you want to have sex with this boy, even though you're a boy. It's your choice if you want to be in a relationship with a girl, even though you're a girl. And that's not good. That's not safe. That's not okay. Like, like it's not. Like I don't know. I don't know how. I do know how I feel about that. It's what's that verse that we were talking about earlier, not too long ago? When it talks about
Proverbs 22.
Is that Proverbs 22?
I think verse 6. Yes, Proverbs 22, verse 6. Direct your children. There we go. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it.
Yeah. That's your responsibility as a parent, to guide your children and to put them on the right path, and they will not waver away from it. You know, and they will remember. At least some people do, you know, go astray. And trust me, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I've seen preacher kids, I've seen pastor kids wild out. Matter of fact, pastor kids are the wildest. Like,
stop it.
Pastor kids are the wildest. That's a fact.
I'm not a pastor's child, but
yeah, PKs.
I grew up. Leave the PKs alone.
Hey, man,
I love for the PKs, man. It's not easy. I'm not gonna get into that, but it's not easy being a pastor's kid.
You don't think so?
It's not. I feel like
I don't think so either.
The same amount of, not to get in too deep with this, but like the same amount of like pressure that's applied to the pastors is applied to their children, and even growing up, like they're not like allowed to make mistakes. They can't screw up. They can't feel this kind of way because all eyes are on you. Like, it's mom and dad as pastors, and then the next people that they look at is the children. Like,
Yeah,
they will judge your parents based off how you act.
I mean, yeah.
So it's like it's a lot of pressure. But I lost my train of thought now that you mentioned that.
Yeah, my fault.
Oh no, what I was gonna say was I was in that situation. I was instructed in church. I grew up in church like since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I walked away at the age of what, 15, 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went back to church last year. Like I just started working on my relationship with God last year. But a lot of it had to do with trauma and what I experienced at home and what I experienced at church. What the church was talking about wasn't what was going on at home. So like a lot of that stuff, you know, everybody has their own experience.
Mm-hmm.
And not for nothing, regardless of what I went through at home, regardless of the fact that, you know, I walked away from my relationship with God temporarily, that seed was already planted. So even when I wasn't going to church or when I wasn't fully working on my relationship with God, like whenever I was in pain, whenever I was hurting, like whenever I was upset, like my initial thing was always to pray.
Yeah.
Because that's how I grew up. I might have not been full force on fire for God at the time, but that seed was still there.
Yeah.
And, you know, minor things would kind of like
I'm sorry, don't mind me. I'm just gonna eat these fries. I apologize.
You're giving me Tim Ross vibes here. With his grilled cheese sandwiches and he's on here.
Yo, I'm sorry. These fries are getting cold.
It's okay.
I'm hungry.
But yeah, like that's all we're gonna hear from Derek for the next 5 minutes, guys. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, that seed is already planted in you, so it's very difficult for you. Like it's got to be something in the core of like your heart, your soul, for you to like really forget what was planted. I mean, from like 6 all the way to 17, like it's hard to let that go. Like that's your entire childhood. So that was already implanted in me. And that's what helped me return. Because, you know, even though I feel like my relationship with God is different now because it's my personal relationship with God, and I'm not judging God based off of what I was dealing with at home or because of the church hurt that I went through or any of that stuff. Like, me personally, like whenever people say, oh, you know, I don't go to church because I had this bad experience at this church or whatever the case was, like, I can understand your point of view, but don't allow that to be the reason why you don't go, because it's like how they say the church doors are open for everybody. So you're gonna have, not for nothing, hypocrites. You're gonna have, who knows, prostitutes. You're gonna have homosexuals. The doors of the church are open for everybody. There's no right or wrong person that can go into the church. So you can't base who God is and his relationship with his personal relationship with you based on the people that are at the church. So like that's something I had to learn once I started working on my relationship with God again, because it's like, as a child, you know, you're being instructed in the right ways at the church and stuff like that, but other things may happen. Yeah. And things may have you question, is God really real? You know, is this church thing real? Like, and not for nothing, I feel like me growing up, I was driven into religion more than relationship.
Of course. I think all of us were.
Yes. And especially because I grew up in like a very Pentecostal church. So yeah, it was,
I mean, that was another thing too. And I believe that, you know, not trying to give them any type of slack, but I believe that that's one of the missions behind this whole satanic temple thing, because they don't want people growing up in religion and they want them to be free thinkers and stuff like that. But But like to put Satan on as the mascot of it is just a little bit much, to be honest with you.
Not a little bit. I feel like it's too much.
It is.
It's forceful. It's like, you know how they say you're forcing religion on like people. Like I feel like you're forcing Satan on children.
Yeah, like
making it seem like he's this amazing good guy who lets you think what you want and do what you want.
That's dangerous.
That's
do what you want is dangerous.
Listen, very dangerous. It's and implanting that in children is extremely dangerous because who's to say they're not going to grow up and now they don't believe in God, they believe in Satan because Satan lets them do what they want.
Look, do what you want is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Ooh.
That's what do what you want is. That's exactly what do what you want is. It's Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. So do what you want if you want to, but those are the things that you reap what you sow.
Exactly.
Those are the consequences. Those are the choices.
Every choice you make, there's a consequence behind it. So
that's a fact, man. So if you're out there and you got children, be responsible. Like God gave you a gift. That's children are a gift. Human beings are a gift. Like at the end of the day, and you got to be responsible with the gift that you've been given because not everyone can have children. You know what I mean? There's people out there that wish, that pray, that adopt, but they can't have any children. They want one of their own. And for you to sit here and to have a child and to be so irresponsible to the point where you're just like, here, child, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Like that's very irresponsible. That's very irresponsible. And you know, you need guidance too. Like not for nothing. We all need guidance. So I'm not sitting here and I'm not judging or anything like that.
That's true.
But you know, that's not, you know, you don't take them. That's assisted suicide. That's how I look at that. That's assisted suicide. Like you're just helping somebody to their demise. Yeah, so you know, you let little Timmy just go around and wear a dress and wear makeup and do all these things, and next thing you know, they're sleeping with a boy, and you know, next thing you know, they're taking drugs and you know all of these different types of things. And I just think it's just important that you know you guide people in the right direction. You just gotta guide your children in the right direction. You know, don't be irresponsible.
Teach them right from wrong. Like that's the main thing. You know, because at the end of the day, your they're gonna have a choice on what they want to do. But don't allow your 5-year-old to decide if they want to be a girl or a boy right now. You're 5. You don't know what you're saying. You want to be an astronaut, like, and that's okay. You might want to, but
don't. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Don't allow your children to decide what they are. They are what they are.
They came out
if you were
what
born
God wanted
boy,
them to be.
Then you're a boy. If you're born a female, then you're a male. God made
female. You said if you.
Oh my! See, the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. The devil's a liar.
Rebuke that.
Nah, I rebuke that. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke it. Listen, if you're a female, then you're female. If you're a male, then you're a male. God made man and woman. Period.
Exactly. If you're a male, stop thinking that you can have babies. He made females for that, and he punished us in a way for that. We go through pain. You can't experience that.
No,
so
you can't.
Please don't think that you can and that it's okay, because it to me, in my eyes, when it comes to that, like, it hurts me as a female, like as a woman, because you're removing the gift that God gave us. That was a gift that God gave us, the gift to bring life to this world. And if you think as a male, don't get me wrong, men still have part in this, because if it isn't for your, like, you have to fertilize our egg in order for us to even conceive. But we deliver this baby. We carry this baby for 9 months.
That's a fact.
We nurture this baby.
Shout out to all the women, man.
Yeah, like shout out to all the women in Women Month. That's a fact. Yes.
That's a fact.
But yeah, like it like breaks my heart to think like you're so desperate that you want to remove the gifts that God gave us as women.
Yeah. I mean,
And I don't know, like, that's just something that, like, it triggers me in a way. And don't get me wrong, like, I love everybody. I pray for everybody. I pray for those who even think that that's possible. But it's like,
it's not possible.
It's not possible. Honestly, it's not. You're right. It's not possible. Science can tell you what it wants, but the Bible tells me otherwise. And I'm going to go based off my Bible every single day. So he made women for it. Okay. And he told women and men, be fruitful and multiply, but we're the ones that go through the labor pain. We are the ones that go through, having to deliver this baby. We are the ones that nurture this child, for some with formula, for the others, breast milk.
Yeah.
Like, I can literally feed my child off of a part of my body. You can't do that.
A little boy can't do that.
Exactly.
A little boy will never grow up.
John can't do that. Like,
not John.
John can't do that.
Well, I done picked on Timmy this whole
you picked episode, on Timmy this whole time, so I had to rock. Yeah, little John.
Let John get some heat. Nah, man. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, I'm not a parent, but at the same time, like, you just gotta be wise, be smart, be intentional with your teaching, and after, like, the Bible says it clear as day. Guide them in the right path, and they won't waver. You know what I mean? And you got to be the difference. You got to lead by example. That's the biggest thing. Lead by example. And what's because crazy, you can tell them. About to say that. You can tell them whatever. I can tell John. Let's pick on John. I could tell John to take out the trash. Do your homework, listen to your teachers, all of that stuff. But if I'm not setting an example, then what am I? I'm just a hypocrite at the end of the day. Exactly. So the same thing that you're telling your kids and how to behave and stuff like that, and teaching them about love and all this other stuff, and you have to be an example as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and lead by. That's a big one, because everybody knows the saying, actions speak louder than words.
Facts.
So I could sit here and I could yap, and it could go from one ear out the other. Yeah. But if you're watching me,
is what you
if you watch me as a man, how I treat, like, as a man, you how you treat your wife, your child's gonna see that. Daddy don't hit mommy. Daddy doesn't curse at mommy. Yeah. Daddy helps mommy as much as he can around the house. Daddy takes out the garbage. Daddy still cooks for us. He doesn't sit here and say, these are chores for women, these are chores for men. He helps mom as much as he can. Mom doesn't neglect, like, mom doesn't do this to dad, or she doesn't curse out at dad, or, she treat, like, it goes both ways, because I feel like for girls, it's important to see how a man really treats a women. Yeah, like, facts. Women.
Facts.
And for boys, that's, like, how your dad, like, I feel like a lot of the times when you speak to, like, people that don't know how to treat a woman, or whatever the case is, their biggest thing is because they weren't taught that growing up. Yeah. They grew up seeing their dad be a drunk and beat on their mom. Yeah. Or they saw that their dad was never in the picture. Or they never even knew who their dad, like, it's just a lot of things. So if you are husband and wife and you guys are at home together, like, it is very important that your actions align with what you're telling your child. Facts. Don't say treat women like this and then you turn around and treat women the other way. Because I feel like a child will see something and do it faster than something that they hear.
Yeah, of course. So that's facts. Like you just said, actions speak louder than words. Listen, in the first book of John Mayer, he said, fathers, be good to your daughters. I'm sorry.
You threw me off. I was looking for something and I'm like, what did you just say?
Yo, but, that was a Bible joke. Please don't kill me. All the Christians out there, please. That was a little jokey joke.
if that's what you want to call it. But anyways, back to our actions.
John Mayer is the greatest, yo. Fathers, be good to your daughters.
No, now he's singing.
Daughters will live like you do.
Okay, well, I wanted to bring up...
Girls become mothers.
Oh, no.
Who turned into mothers. So mothers, be good to your daughters too. Facts. Fathers, be good to your daughters. Mothers, be good to your daughters. Everybody be good to your daughters, man. I believe that you should be good to your daughters more than you're good to your sons. Even though I think that you should be good to your sons. But, like, women are delicate. Females are delicate. They need a little bit more extra love.
I'm glad you acknowledge that.
Yeah, facts, man.
Because I feel like not a lot of men understand the delicacy that comes with a female.
Yeah.
Like the more emotions, the more sensitivity.
But you know what? It's about like what we just talked about before. Like, yo, those fries are like stuck in my chest.
You need some water? You need some water? I can't breathe. I can't breathe, guys. Somebody get the inhaler. Somebody call now. Oh no.
Yo, listen.
Listen, all right.
I'm telling you, that's why they gonna be in that satanic temple. Somebody gonna die. It's gonna be a whole bunch of heat in that mug.
Oh Lord,
I ain't lying.
Let's not go there.
Nah, man.
We're gonna be praying for them. That's what we're gonna be doing.
Facts. That's facts. And staying far away as much as possible. But yeah, yo, I think that's a result, again, like you just said earlier, about leading by example, and listen, man, kids, they learn a lot and they pick up a lot of information, dog.
I see it in my nieces all the time. When you least expect it, that's when they pick it up after you. That's when they're literally following your footsteps. Like everything that you do, they want to do. You move this way, you dance this way, you said this. They're picking that, especially at that age, like 5 years old. Like you're absorbing all of that. Like children are like sponges. They're absorbing everything. So whatever you show them, it's what they're gonna pick up. It's what they're gonna do. It's how they're gonna. And a lot of the things that like. Not to go too deep because we definitely want to close this out, but a lot of the things that like I feel like I have to go to therapy for now, and a lot of things that I have to like heal from now is things that like were driven into me as a child. So it's like, listen.
That's what everybody, man. That's why what you do is important, bro. Like you got the blind leading the blind, and when the blind is leading the blind, then everybody walking around like.
Lost,
like
lost sheep looking for the shepherd, and the shepherd is the Lord Jesus Christ, and you need to open the Bible and find him.
Like this.
I be trying to be serious, but messing with you.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, bro.
You look like a mummy.
Yeah, I'm crying.
I'm not even gonna go back into that movie because I can't remember the name, but you literally just remind me of that.
On Disney. Is that the movie you're talking about?
The mummy that got up and
word.
He was looking for his queen or something like that.
Yo, man.
Oh Lord.
Yo, you remember that mummy episode from Jimmy Neutron? All right, we ain't gonna get into all that.
Now you had me thinking because I didn't really watch. I didn't watch Jimmy Neutron that much.
Remember,
I did, but
what was her name? Libby, and they found out she was a descendant of a pharaoh. And then they was like, they had the mummies. Yo, and then Cindy was the DJ.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Not Another Podcast. We will see you again next week. Don't forget to like, comment. This is my like ending music. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Send it to a friend and another friend and another friend.
Yeah, man.
And we appreciate the support.
Stay out them satanic temples, man. They ain't good for you, bro.
That is a fact.
And thinking all the time for yourself is not good, man.
Nope.
On a very serious note, just think about it. Think about all the times where you did what you wanted to do, and look at the majority of the results, man. That's facts.
Man, this episode could have went like on, because we could have talked about like so much, because
The
so
Holy
many,
Spirit.
the conviction,
Facts.
people in the Bible who made the right decisions and the wrong decisions, and like where it led them. Weren't we talking about that yesterday?
That's a fact, though.
Saul and the choices he made, David and the choices he made. Ooh, man, we might give you guys a little part 2, you know. But all right, peace out. Love you guys. Good night.